While the euro is still trading near a four-year low versus the dollar, for a little bit more on fundamentals, we're going to partner now with the FT to bring you Lex on Bloomberg. You get a sneak peek at the Financial Times' flagship column a day early. Vincent Boland joining us now live from London. Vincent, always glad to have you with us. Growth, it seems like, not debt, is now worrying some investors about the euro.
Yes, that's right. And I think that's one of the reasons why the euro is so weak against the dollar. I think the expectation is that this massive restructuring that the eurozone has imposed on itself in order to protect the euro is going to stifle economic growth, certainly on the periphery, but perhaps elsewhere as well. And so the growth outlook for the eurozone is quite poor compared to the global outlook or to the outlook in the US. So I think it's not surprising that the euro is actually declining right now.
Vincent, we did get some somewhat reinforcing data today for the eurozone. We saw inflation data coming in strong, also export data, something like the strongest in a year. And in fact, it seems like European stocks are trading off that data. But what is the comparative picture that you're talking about?
Well, I think the export figure certainly would be a natural consequence of the weaker euro, because I think that if one of the benefits that it will have for the eurozone is that it should boost exports, probably not uniformly across the eurozone. So I think Spain is far less likely to benefit from a weaker euro than Germany. But I think that the comparative outlook really is not that great, because the eurozone economy is quite sluggish anyway, and Germany is really the driver of it. And compared to China or the US or the global picture, I think the eurozone is really in a bit of a rut, and that is reflected in the euro's performance.
Vincent, what about this talk that obviously the eurozone and the finance ministers have really attacked the problem of liquidity, but not some of the bigger issues out there?
Yes, I think that's the big question mark over the rescue package for the eurozone that the ministers announced a couple of weeks ago. I think what it has done is it has removed the threat of contagion from Greece to Spain to Portugal to Ireland to Italy and further afield in the sovereign debt markets. Certainly for the short term, and by short term I mean up to 3 years, because that's the life of the rescue package. But the conditions that it's imposing on the countries that will benefit most from the package, such as Greece and Spain and Portugal, are so severe that I think the question mark must be whether the disadvantages of this package actually outweigh the advantages, and that it has caused longer-term problems in attempting to address a short-term issue. And I think that's the whole question mark over the package and the euro right now.
Vincent, we thank you. Vincent Boland joining us there from the FT in London.